All right, friends, got the crazy hair going again, and we're doing something new today. I'm excited. We're gonna make bread. One of my goals in life is to, especially for 2024, remember we're executing this year, we're getting it done. One of the things I want to do is make bread and, try to eat foods that have fewer ingredients, that kind of deal. So here is where we start. So I am learning. This will be my first time making this bread. I got the recipe from a lady on TikTok. Looks simple. I've never used this piece right here on my KitchenAid. So I'm excited. We're doing it. We're getting it done. So let's get started. So I'm just going to add the ingredients, but I will put a picture of the recipe. So this is warm milk. I literally put it in the microwave for like a minute. Yeast, put that in there, and sugar. Sorry about the video mess, because you gotta feed the yeast. So then you take it and you kind of whisk it in, get it all mixed together. Because you want that yeast and that warm milk and that sugar together. So I whisk. And now we're going to set the timer for 5 minutes. All right, you see my yeast has bloomed. So just so you know, if it doesn't make bubbles, then your yeast is dead, and it's not your bread's not going to rise. You're going to have very dense flatbread. So I bought 2 big blocks of it at the Sam's Club a while back. I've got one that I opened. It's in the refrigerator in just like a glass container with an airtight lid. And just on the safe side, I did cut the instructions off the side of it and taped it to the glass container, which I did not have to use that in this case. But then the other block, it's like a sealed block, is in my freezer. So it'll be good for later. So now we've got flour. Now this is 3.5 cups, and you just literally dump it in. There is no putting in a little bit at a time like it's a cake. This is bread. We're making bread. And then salt. We'll put that down, lock it in, start on low, let it mix. Now, the lady in the video did tell me, she did say that, you're probably going to get the flour wrong the first time and you need to weigh it, but I don't know, she didn't give instructions to weigh it. But she said, if it's too wet, add flour. If it's too dry, add a little more milk. So, this is my second loaf I'm doing today. And in the first one, I did end up adding flour. So, this is 3.5 cups. I've got almost a cup right there basically to add to it. So we're going to let this mix until it all mixes together. Okay, so I did turn it up to number 2. I'm going to turn it back down to low because we're going to add melted butter to it. And when I did it last time, it started slapping around and I've been crazy. So add your melted butter. And this is where you see I felt like it was just really loose. So you just kind of have to, I guess, do it by feel. Alright, so I'm going to start adding a little bit of this. I will end up adding all of it as it comes out. We're going to let that go. Move it up to 2 and let it really mix together. So in the meantime, while this is doing this for about 5 minutes, once you add the last little bit, the butter and the last little bit of flour, about 5 minutes. When we do that, go ahead and get you a kitchen towel. Just wet it with warm water and wring it out real good. And then you take a glass bowl and you see I just put a little bit of olive oil in it. There's more in it than it looks like. I rubbed it all around the bowl. But before I put that dough in here, I did want to kind of get that little puddle out of the bottom. Alright, let's go back over here and see how it's going. Okay. You have to excuse the way a video. I do not have a stand yet, so I will be working on getting one of those. I did go through and kind of with my Spurtle. This is a Spurtle. If you don't have one, get one. They're awesome. They're Swedish. Got mine at the IKEA. And I just, you know, kind of went over the bottom just to make sure everything was mixed in. You know how sometimes you make a cake in this bad boy and it's not mixed? So do that. And now we're going to just get it all off of here. We're going to try to lean this up against something so you can see what I'm doing. So basically I just take this and get it out of the bowl and try to get as much of it out as possible. And it's a little sticky, so be ready for that. And put it in here. Get it into my greased bowl. And just kind of, you know, make sure it's kind of like a little ball, kind of. All right, and I did use warm water. You see, all I did was cover them up with the towel. So just cover up with the towel. Now we're gonna set the timer for 1 hour and let it rise. So it has to double in size. So basically, if it doesn't double in size in an hour, let it sit a little bit longer. The young lady that had her video on there that I was kind of mirroring after, she lives in a warmer climate, and I feel like it's very warm in my house, but I'm also over 50, so I'm hot all the time. So it may not be that warm in here, which is why I use the warm water when I wet my cloths. So just let it sit, check it out an hour, see if it's doubled in size. If it hasn't, cover it back up, let it go a little bit longer, and I'll see you in about an hour. Okay, so we've got about 20 minutes left on our timer, and so I went ahead and turned the oven on to 350, and now I'm just buttering a loaf pan, buttering both my loaf pans, and I basically just, you know, soften the butter some in the microwave, because, you know, do we ever remember to set it out? No, we don't. So just, you know, good butter on the bottom. I guess that'll make it like real buttery. So I'm just spreading it in a little bit better with a basting brush, just to make sure it's nice and covered. Get the corners real good. So we'll do that and just be ready. The next thing I will do is I will go ahead and get a little bit of flour out and get ready to turn it out. We're going to turn it out on the cabinet, and we are going to roll it out a little bit. So I'll let you see when I do that. So see you in a few more minutes. All right, so it's been an hour, and I can see the dough here. So we've got a good rise. I'm very excited. Look at that. So there you go. So now we're going to take it over here to my other counter where I have a little more room. And I have put down, you don't have to put down like a seal pat thing or anything, but I just did it to make it easier. I got my rolling pin, got my flour, got my buttered pans, got a little tin foil. So that's, you know, kind of getting ready. All right, so now you want to punch it down. It's important that you punch it down, she said. And you see it'll kind of deflate some. All right, so now I'm going to flip the camera around and turn it out. All right, so we're going to try to do this where you can see. So we're just going to put a little bit of flour out here and just kind of get it spread around. You don't want too much. I'll probably just put down too much, but that's okay. So we punched it down. We're going to throw it out here. All right, now I'm just going to mush it down some. Pat it down some like this. No big deal. And then we are going to roll it out a little bit. So we're going to put a little of that on it. So you're just kind of rolling it into a rectangle. You want it to be, you know, a little bit wider than your pan. And, you know, a little bit longer. So there's a method. There's a method to the madness. So let's roll it out some, not a lot. So that's probably like 1/2 inch thickness. So I'll put this over here. Now, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna roll it up. She called it burrito style. So we're just rolling it. That's all we're doing. Roll, roll, roll. All right, now we're gonna roll it. And then we're gonna just pop it right down in our pan. All right. So now it's in the pan. And we're going to lightly cover it. You don't want to cover it too tight. But we're going to cover it a little bit. And we're going to let it rise again for 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes. So I just wanted to look at it real quick. It is, oh my God, it's so huge. It's gorgeous. Can you see how big that got? It's all crazy looking. So I am going to use different tin foil. And I'm going to spray a little bit of olive oil spray on my tin foil just to make sure it doesn't stick. And then we're going to cover it back up. And now we're going to put it in the oven, finally. Try the second one. And so it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's doing everything that hers did. I'm so excited about having fresh bread and having bread without preservatives. So we're going to put this in the oven on 350. You know, it's preheated like forever. And we're going to cook it for, she said 20 minutes. And then at 20 minutes, we're going to come back and we're going to take, looks like I've managed to get something of myself already today. But at 20 minutes, we're going to come back. We're going to take the tin foil off and we're going to let it bake for probably about 10 more minutes. And she said that's where we'll be looking for kind of the crust to be the color you want. You want it that, you know, sandwich bread color. Some people might like it a little darker. Some people might like it a little lighter. But we'll come back and we'll do that. Cook it. And when you cook it for the additional 10 minutes, when you take the tin foil off, you want to raise the temperature to 375. So we'll do all that and then we'll see how this bread turns out. And I will, like I said, post a picture of the actual recipe with the young lady's name on TikTok if you want to look her up. And we'll hopefully have good bread to eat later on. So see you shortly. Okay, they're out of the oven. I ended up cooking them almost 25 minutes longer. And we gotta let them cool. It said to let them cool completely before you go through and slice them. So, because if not, they'll just tear. So we're gonna let them cool. I'm gonna let them cool in the pans for about 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna turn them out onto racks and let them cool there. And we'll show you when I slice them. And as promised, there is the recipe. Screenshot it. This up here, Jenny Abs, that's the girl's name on TikTok. This is her recipe. And you know, it was really, really good. So it was easy to do and hopefully it'll taste just as good. I'll let you know. I just turned them out on the rack. They look right. Got a nice crust. So we shall see. We're gonna let them cool all the way. All right, so we've already sliced it because I couldn't stand it. We had to taste some. It was so good. I had my daughter and her friend taste it. But look how it turned out. And this is very soft. And this is, you know, the crust like normal. And it tastes just like sandwich bread. So, yay. I'm very excited. I will do a picture in case you need, you know, a few more minutes to screenshot. But I will put a picture on there. And, yeah, give this bread a try. I'm going to slice some up And I know she said to be real careful, make sure you use a really sharp bread knife. And this knife is used for my tomatoes and my bread because it actually does slice through. And yeah, it's a little bit thick, but I love it. It's so good. So, yay, I made bread. Let me know if you guys try it.